looking at numbers. So we're going to start off with number line and with introduction to sign. In between we have classification of numbers. So the basic idea of number line you guys already know. It's a visual representation of numbers on a straight line. So let me do that. Let me start off with representing a straight line, right? To tell that this line never ends, I will draw arrows at both the end. If you remember from physics, you have your rays and line segment, parts of line, right? So I hope you remember that. And somewhere along the line, I put a tick. This is called a tick, and I write 0. Okay. To right of 0's tick, if I put another tick and at equal gap one more tick, so on and so forth, I will be able to represent numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. To the left of 0's tick, if I represent again at equal interval, I'll be able to write -1, -2, -3. I'll be able to represent another set of number. At the end we have the infinity and minus infinity. That's it. This is a number line. Okay. So why do we need it? Well, number line helps in a lot of things. Okay, let's move on to classification of numbers. So we'll start off with the basic one. Set of numbers which starts with 1 and jumpy numbers because they're not containing in between numbers. I'm just talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth till plus infinity. This is your natural. This is your natural number. Okay. This hashtag is number. It represents it's a shorthand for number, right? So we have a number. If I start with 0 till plus infinity, this is whole number. If I start with minus infinity, again only the jumpy numbers, minus infinity, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, such jumpy numbers. That's your integers. Integers, they are further classified. So if I just include +1 to infinity, it is known as positive integer. If I start with minus infinity to -1, this is your negative integer. And yes, 0 is neither a part of positive integer or negative integer. Okay, so 0 is neither part of this, he is alone, right? So this is something which you have to remember. It's quite useful even for your higher grades. I'm talking about 11th also. Okay, so yes, again I'll repeat, natural number starts with 1, only the jumpy numbers, remember, and whole number 2 is just jumpy numbers with the inclusion of 0. Integers from minus infinity to plus infinity. And then you have your positive integer, negative integer, while 0 being alone. Okay, so the uses are quite a few. When we talk about the uses, you can use your natural number to give roll numbers, right? So if you're talking about uses of such classification, so we're talking about roll numbers to students, right? When we're talking about whole number, we can discuss the number of people attending a particular event. There might be no people at all who are coming to that event, or there might be 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, there won't be 1.5. Such number 2 is represented on a number line, right? 1.5 just over there. But yes, whole number helps in talking about number of people present. It can't be negative. It has to be, it can start with 0 because there is no one attending, so 0 is a possibility. So represent the number of attendees, right? Number of companies in a particular region, say in a forest, then an IT company, right? There's no IT company in a forest. I hope so. It should not be, right? We should not disturb more animals. We're quite a few animals, or a lot of animals have been disturbed by us. So whole numbers is used to represent counting of things, it helps in representing counting things. While integers, we are talking about integers to in terms of water level, or if not, say water level, if not height. Of course, there are decimal numbers as well in those. Integers. Where else? Phone balance. No, phone balance too can be in decimals. Water level, I'm not satisfied. Water level. So any rounding of numbers, we use integers, right? Of course, height of a mountain, we use decimals, true. But I guess while traveling, or if it's a huge distance, we don't consider the decimal part. We just round it off and we use integers. So yes, water level is a good example when we're talking about huge distance, right? So yes, if you're measuring a minute thing, then we need not use integers. We have to go to other set of classification. If not, integers for a large scale is a good thing, wherein you have one of you have one of the level to be zeros, below that is your negative integers, and above that represent your positive integer. I'll give an example. I think that'll be better. So say this is water level, right? The ocean level. So if I represent the level of the ocean as 0, above that will be your positive distance, below that is your negative distance. This is a classical example in your textbooks as well. Okay. So again, positive integers, 0 and negative integers, classification is same. It's the same thing. Uses, right? Again, it's just for you guys to understand where to use what and classification. So, but yes, all of this classification is important. They give you tricky questions wherein they use these words and you're tricked. Okay. So one of the ways of understanding whole numbers is when you tell whole number, you make your mouth O, right? So that's why whole numbers start with 0. Okay, that's one of the ways of remembering that whole number has 0, while natural number starts with 1. So remember, whole number is made up of natural number and 0. Integer is made up of whole number along with the negative integer. That's the basic idea. So I hope you guys can remember the classification of numbers. Okay, it's important, and it's especially useful when you are talking about MCQ questions. They can trick you with just changing the number classification, natural number, whole number. And I too have few questions based on this. So you have to be ready with this as well. Keep that in mind. If you want to write down somewhere, good. If not, just keep that in mind. It's not too hard. The language, note on the sign. See, I have seen kids, they don't get this, they get confused with this. It's quite simple, but still they get confused. What do they get confused with? When we talk about positive, negative signs, addition and subtraction, right? Addition and subtraction are operations, while positive and negative are signs. So positive sign indicates numbers that are on the left side of your right side of your 0. Okay, let me change this actually. That'll be better. This is positive and this is negative, and you have 0. Any number on your right of 0 is your positive numbers, and anything on the left is your negative numbers. 0 per se does not have any sign, right? So signs have to do with locating which side the number is on with respect to 0. So example 4 plus 4 minus 4, right? Negative 4, positive 4, negative 4. Okay, positive 4, negative 4. Then, well, we can have decimal numbers also, plus 5.45. We'll just make a small note over here. Sometimes people just write numbers, no sign. When they don't write any sign, it means it is positive sign. Okay, you have your positive sign, right? So basically this means plus 4. So when should we read this as an addition or a subtraction? When you have it in between numbers, like say I have 4 or 14 plus 5 in between. So this is your addition operation. So the sign acts as an operation. 4 minus 5, again operation. Yes, people can write in this manner as well. Plus 4 minus of plus 5. So here this plus sign acts like a plus sign, positive sign, while this negative sign acts like a operation. This is a small thing but quite important as well. This will help you in learning the next topic. So let's move on to the next topic.